That's what I see happening. So yeah, I see RK Bro losing this match and the Street Profits winning their titles that they never lost back. And that is your day one card predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Very fun pay per view. I'm looking forward to it. I can see a couple more matches being added on. Of course, we'll get Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. And we'll probably get a WWE Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship match on the pre show. I see Sami Zayn taking the title from Nakamura, and that sets up a Nakamura Roman Reigns feud to build for WrestleMania while Brock Lesnar takes time off after winning the Royal Rumble. And United States Championship, I see Damian Priest losing the United States Championship and maybe starting a feud with The Undertaker for WrestleMania. They haven't announced him for the Hall of Fame yet, which I think is bullshit. If they don't announce him for the Hall of Fame, then it's definitely going to be Undertaker versus Damian Priest, in my opinion. And that is your day one pay-per-view predictions. Let's go on to a review of New Year's Revolution 2007, the last New Year's Revolution ever. Coming from Kansas City, Missouri, in Kemper Memorial Arena, with an attendance of 10,000 and a buy rate of 220,000. The tagline, "The Revolution Continues." This was a good pay-per-view, not great. There would be a dark match between Vladimir Kozlov and Eugene. Vladimir Kozlov would pick up the win. And the real show would kick off with a Jeff Hardy, Johnny Nitro Intercontinental Championship match in a steel cage. Jeff Hardy would pick up the win. You would get Melina trying to come in on the outside and really hurt Jeff Hardy. She would even try to block the door, but the ref would pull her out of the way, and Jeff Hardy would escape and would retain his Intercontinental Championship. You would then get a tag team turmoil match to determine the number one contenders, which would be won by Crime Time, last eliminating Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. By the way, shout out to Crime Time. Rest in peace to Shea Gaspar. After this, you would get a singles match between Kenny Dykstra and Ric Flair. If that's a singles match you never thought you'd hear, I can't blame you. That always sounds weird to me. Kenny Dykstra versus Ric Flair. I don't know why. It just sounds weird to me. Kenny Dykstra would beat Ric Flair in a 10-minute match. Let's also add to that one. That one also will always sound weird to me. After this, Mickie James, in her really historic reign, she would be the first woman to win the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. She would win it from her idol Trish Stratus, would continue her reign against Victoria in a 6-minute, 50-second match. Wouldn't be enough for me. I wish they had more to it. And then, and surprisingly, not your main event, Rated RKO versus D-Generation X in a World Tag Team Championship match. This match would actually become famous because it would be the match where Triple H would tear a pectoral muscle. He would go out of action for so long, and it would lead to almost a breakup of RK Bro, Rated RKO, because they had no one to feud with. Their whole thing was they were built to fight D-Generation X. Now what are they going to do? They would lose the tag team titles not to Crime Time, but to John Cena and Shawn Michaels. And they would basically go on the feud till WrestleMania. So, that would be an interesting one. It says no contest, but Rated RKO would win this match in a 23-minute match. After this, we got Chris Masters versus Carlito. This would kind of be the breaking down from the last year's Masters of Cool, when they would break down inside the Elimination Chamber at New Year's Revolution. I guess they were saving kind of this match for New Year's Revolution because it just meant so much to them. And Chris Masters would pick up the win and would continue his singles kind of really big push, and then would be thrown away. He would be pushed big as a singles competitor in video games more than real life. He would actually win the WWE Championship in, I believe it was SmackDown versus Raw 2008 with Trish Stratus as manager. And then Trish Stratus would betray him and would win the WWE Championship. This is all in a video game, by the way. This didn't happen in real life. So anyway, then we go on to your main event with John Cena versus an unbeaten Umaga for the WWE Championship. Now, there was so much talk that Umaga was going to take the title off of John Cena, but they felt he was too green, and Umaga would lose his unbeaten streak here. He was going to be kind of their version of Goldberg, of an unbeaten champion, someone who was great in his performance. I would have liked to see it, but at the same time, it would have been weird. This is really the only time we would get Umaga in a WWE Championship picture. So it sucks. Umaga would get the Intercontinental Championship going into WrestleMania 23 and would lose it to Santino Marella in the Italian Miracle. The Milan Miracle, as I believe it's called, where we didn't know Santino Marella was actually a WWE superstar. He would be picked from the crowd by Vince McMahon. Bobby Lashley would come in and help Santino Marella win the Intercontinental Championship from Umaga, but that's way later down the line. And that is your New Year's Revolution pay-per-view. It was a very weird pay-per-view. There were times when you're like, why the fuck is this match going on? Like the Ric Flair one, or the dark match, or the Carly, and the fact that D Generation X wasn't the main event. I guess they didn't want to end it in a no contest, and we did have Big Match John winning a lot. So, Big Match John would main event this WWE pay-per-view. It would go down as a good one, not a great one, but would be the last time ever for New Year's Revolution. I'm going to go with my final grade as a C+. It was a good pay-per-view, not great. And that is your WWE New Year's Revolution review. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to turn the clock back to a segment I thought was long dead, your WWE Replica Championship review. That's right, a new title has been added to my collection. This is the Mick Foley commemorative title. It is a beautiful title. It is more Fashion of Mankind. Only thing I could ask is I wish there was more Cactus Jack and Dude Love on it, but I get it. Mick Foley won the WWE Championship only as Mankind, not as Cactus Jack or Dude Love. This title is beautiful. The leather straps on it really remind you of the Mankind Masters. A lot of references. It's got two Have a Nice Day on it. One is where a title plate would be on the side, and on the back of the main title plate it says Have a Nice Day. The Mankind straps coming over the title is amazing. The leather work on this is beautiful. I mean, they even have a Mr. Sacco on it, and by the way, it doesn't come in your usual WWE Championship bag. It comes in a giant Mr. Sacco, which I loved. That was probably I got this for Christmas, and it was one of my favorite things. I open it up, and it's a giant Mr. Sacco just looking at me, and I was just all smiles when I saw that. It's got a beautiful feel to it. I truly love this title. Mick Foley has said he loves this title. Everyone who has it says they love this title. Even on the title plate itself for the belt, it even says Have a Nice Day. It has, I just noticed the Mankind logo right next to the strap. Oh my gosh, this is just a beautiful, beautiful title. It's everything you could want from a Mick Foley Championship. Again, besides a reference to Dude Love and Cactus Jack on it, it has everything that symbolizes Mick Foley's career. It's just beautiful. It truly is one of my favorite titles in my collection, right behind The Undertaker and the United States Championship. It's truly one of my favorite titles I think I've ever received, and I love it. I truly love this title. It's a title that if you get a chance, buy it. Truly do go out and buy it. It's a fun title. It's a title that when your kids see it, or any wrestling fan sees it, they will know exactly, okay, this is Mick Foley's. There is no question in your mind when you see it. You're like, okay, this is a Mick Foley title. Very fun, very enjoyable. One that I truly love. And that was your WWE Championship review. If I'm going to give the belt a letter grade up, A-. If there was a Dude Love and Cactus Jack reference, it would be an A+, but A- at the very least. Mr. Sacco, actually coming in the world's biggest Mr. Sacco is so fun. I love that. So, A-, if not A. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your drink of the week, your wrestling drink of the week. This is a drink that is synonymous with New Year's because we're getting into the new year of 2022. This will be the last podcast of 2021. And the drink of the week this week is a mimosa. A mimosa is a very common champagne drink. You could get on airplanes, you could get at any bar in the world. If they don't know how to make a mimosa, that is not a bar. Leave. Mimosa is simply just champagne and orange juice. Delicious, amazing drink. Half champagne, half orange juice, just in a champagne flute, and that's all you need. Delicious drink, and certainly one for not just brunch, but to get you fucked up on New Year's. By the way, if you are under 21, do not drink, and do not try to drink and drive at all. No matter what age you are, drinking and driving is not okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a reading from the Book of Rules. The casket match. Throw your opponent into a casket and close the lid. You win. They rest in peace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, finally, for the last time this year, we go into a Battle Droid of the Week. Next week, at the beginning of the year, I will be awarding the Super Battle Droid of the Year. That is right, Super Battle Droid. It will be between the internet wrestling fans, Eva Marie, and Tony Khan. Or no, Nick Khan. I apologize. Nick Khan. Please, if you're listening, help me decide by voting on them. Listen to all my podcasts before and help me vote on who is the Super Battle Droid of the Year. Also, next week, I will be introducing a new segment before I go into Battle Droid of the Week. I'll be introducing a new segment, which is the Feud of a Lifetime, where I will be going into feuds from the WWE, historical feuds, like Randy Orton and Triple H, John Cena and Edge, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. All those kinds of feuds that have not just been one feud, but have stemmed over multiple places. They could go from multiple companies sometimes, where it's AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe, places like that. Seth Rollins and CM Punk, where they feud in our Ring of Honor, stuff like that. And this will also go over multiple years. It will go like Shawn Michaels and Undertaker started at Bad Blood in Hell in a Cell. And then they had WrestleMania feuds. They had so many different feuds. 2007 for the Royal Rumble. Stuff like that. So please pick a feud in the comments. Put in the comments a feud that you truly would like to see me cover from multiple years. Whether it's just a one-time off feud or a feud that really changed pro wrestling, please put one in the comments. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite segment, the Battle Droid of the Week. The Battle Droid of the Week this week is actually very simple to me. It is WWE Security. The fan who attacked Seth Rollins was at Madison Square Garden, ladies and gentlemen. He was at the show. They let him in. He wasn't banned for life. Why the fuck was this guy not banned for life? That is a fuck up on WWE Security. Not on the fan, even though, yeah, fuck him for attacking Seth Rollins and shit. But still, how the fuck is this guy ever allowed into an